Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking a concept that, honestly, kind of feels a little bit like cheating. But I promise you, it is absolutely, completely legal. I want you to just imagine this for a second. Waking up tomorrow morning, rolling over in bed, grabbing your phone from the nightstand, and seeing this bright little notification that simply says, you made a sale. And the crazy part? You didn't make that sale because you pulled an all-nighter. You didn't make it because you were out driving deliveries in the pouring rain, or frantically replying to client emails at 2 in the morning. No. You made it because something you created yesterday kept right on working while you were fast asleep.
Now you might be sitting there thinking, okay, come on, that sounds impossible, right? Making money without grinding away all night or sacrificing every single weekend? It sounds like a total pipe dream for most of us. But as we'll see in our source material today, it is not exactly out of reach. In fact, this exact scenario is happening for people every single day, and it fundamentally shifts how we even think about work and earning. We are so intensely conditioned to believe that making more money strictly requires trading more of our physical hours. But we are going to completely break that assumption down today.
So, here's our very first clue. The internet literally never sleeps. What most people never quite realized is that the absolute wealthiest ideas aren't always about simply working more hours. I mean, you can only work so many hours in a day, right? Instead, the secret is about building something that keeps working after you are done. You're essentially taking advantage of a global infrastructure, the internet, that is always turned on, always connected, and always facilitating transactions. Now hold on, because we do have to debunk a massive misconception that holds so many people back. When people hear that buzzword, passive income, their minds immediately jump straight to a fantasy. They imagine just sitting on a beach, sipping a drink, making money without ever lifting a finger. But that is simply not how it works. The reality is that the absolute best, most reliable passive income usually starts with some highly active upfront effort. You literally have to build the engine before you can ever expect it to run on its own. Think of it exactly like planting a tree. You don't just throw a seed on the ground today and demand apples tomorrow morning. You plant the seed, you water it, you actively take care of it, and most importantly, you give it time. Then, one day, it matures and actually starts producing fruit without you ever having to plant that specific seed again. Well, digital products work in a surprisingly similar way. Imagine spending just one Saturday afternoon creating, say, a simple monthly budget planner. You put in the active effort, you upload it to an online marketplace, and the first few days, crickets. Nothing happens. But a week later, maybe one sale, then another, then 3 more. You put in the work once, and it just continues to bear fruit. Let's look at how this actually builds in the real world. Take the timeline of an everyday teacher. She creates a printable lesson planner simply because she needs it to organize her own chaotic classroom. It's just for her. But then a teacher friend sees it and says, hey, can I get a copy of that? Then another teacher asks for it. Realizing this thing has actual value, she eventually just uploads it online. Fast forward 6 months later, okay, she isn't making millions of dollars, she hasn't bought a private island, but every single month, those automated sales from a product she made half a year ago are helping cover her everyday expenses. They're paying for her groceries, her Wi-Fi bill, her streaming subscriptions. These are small wins for sure, but they are repeated consistently. And that is exactly how so many successful digital creators get their start.
So, here is the absolutely crucial point. The big secret that almost all beginners overlook when they first try to create assets. Your product does not have to be revolutionary. It just has to solve a real problem. We get so caught up trying to invent the next massive tech startup or some brand new piece of software. But successful entrepreneurs, they don't always chase brand new, never-before-seen ideas. Instead, they just look around their own lives for everyday, annoying problems that regular people will happily pay a few bucks to solve quickly and efficiently. Think about your own life for a second. Think about the last time you downloaded a checklist to make sure you didn't forget anything for a big trip. Or maybe you used a pre-made spreadsheet to track your expenses. Think about those everyday solutions: a meal planner, a moving checklist, a wedding organizer, a business invoice template. Someone somewhere created that digital file once. People kept finding value in it, so they just kept downloading it. And here's the part from our source material that genuinely surprised me. Simple products very often outperformed complicated ones. They aren't flashy, they're definitely not winning any modern design awards, but they are useful. And in this space, useful beats impressive every single time.
But let's be totally transparent here and set some realistic expectations, because you shouldn't let the simplicity fool you. That first sale, it might take days, it might take weeks, and honestly, some products never gain traction at all. They just sit there with 0 views. That is completely normal. The difference is all in the mindset. Beginners often see 0 sales and immediately think failure, and they quit. But experienced creators,
They completely reframe that silence as feedback. Every click they do get teaches them something. Every review points toward a needed improvement. Every little update they make based on that feedback makes the product just a little bit stronger for the next person. And as you gather that feedback and just keep creating, you enter what's called the compounding game. Over time, that one initial product you made on a Saturday afternoon, it becomes 2. Those 2 become 5. 5 become 10. Notice what's happening here? Instead of trading more of your physical hours for a little bit more money, which is that traditional trap we all fall into, you are gradually building a collection of digital assets. It's like a digital real estate portfolio. And those assets can continue serving thousands of customers concurrently, all at the exact same time, without requiring a single extra hour from you. Which brings us to my absolute favorite part of this entire concept. Sales are around the clock. Because while you are sleeping soundly in your bed, someone on the other side of the country, or even on the other side of the planet, is wide awake and they might be shopping. They're stressing out about planning their meals or organizing their wedding, and they are looking for a solution right now. The internet does not clock out at 5 p.m. It doesn't take weekends off to go relax. It definitely doesn't need coffee breaks. That is exactly why digital businesses have this incredible potential to generate sales 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not because money magically appears out of thin air. It's because your completed work remains available and accessible to the entire globe long after you finish making it.
Of course, we have to stay grounded here. There is absolutely no guarantee of success. Building something genuinely valuable takes time. It takes rigorous testing, continuous learning, and a whole lot of patience. You really have to be willing to put in that active effort we talked about earlier. But the big takeaway here, and why this matters so much for anyone looking to build a more resilient income, is that when you finally do create something that people genuinely need, your work has the very real opportunity to keep reaching new customers long after you hit that publish button. It really is all about working smarter, not just harder.
But believe it or not, according to our source material today, digital products aren't even the easiest automated income stream out there. Nope, there is actually another completely legal side hustle that can require even less ongoing maintenance than everything we just discussed with those planners and templates. The crazy part? Most people have actually heard of it, but almost nobody uses it correctly. And that is exactly where things get really interesting. What could it be? Well, you'll have to join me in part 2 of this explainer to find out. Until then, keep learning, keep building, and ask yourself, what is a simple, everyday problem you could solve for someone today?